is such a firm conditioning that we experience in our manifest existence. You know, we are also here too, and functioning through this form. But that is the conditioning that is taken for granted. Almost nobody questions that. So, if you don't question something, it's assumed to be a fact, unchallengeable. You see? So, if that was the only thing there, that you adjust your body-mind also, you know, and that's it. Beyond that, there is nothing at all. Most people will be comfortable with this. That's what they believe is there anyway. Your body identity and the fact that you are perceiving, and you have the senses, and something is enjoying or perceiving or experiencing through the senses, and the mind, it's enough. Why is it not enough? Why is it not enough? If there was no such thing as spirit or the self or pure consciousness, why would it not be enough to simply be the idea you have of yourself as a person, which, by the way, keeps altering and changing like a ever-changing self-portrait or something, so it's not consistent. And the body, which itself is also not consistent. This is not the body your mother gave birth to. So it is also changing. Everything is changing. So if everything is changing, and that's the nature of things, is that they will just change. Everything that exists is changing. What to do about it? Is that's the way it is. And it still is the way it seems to be for everyone. You have a life, you live your life, and at the end, because there's an end of life, as there is a beginning of life, in our minds like that we begin to exist when the body is born. We say, then that's your first day. And there will be a last day also. And after that, there's no after that. Suppose this is the case. Or even during that, there is nothing else apart from the body-mind functioning. Is that so for you? What you've found? There will be no need for the invitation. It would not have be revealing anything other than what you assume already, which is that you are your body, and the conditioning or programming that arose for this bodily expression. And all of this comes because of the conviction you have in the feeling of I, which you presently take yourself to be, the one who is searching for the self. And there isn't as yet formed that the very I will collapse away from the sense of personhood and be revealed that the I is the self itself. But while we have the memory, the habits, the tendencies, the desires, the attachments, it will perpetuate and strengthen the idea of yourself as a person. And the person itself, who appears to be searching for the ultimate truth, is tripping over itself, because enlightenment is not, or freedom is not for the person, it is from the person. It seems strange thing, because we have a conviction, yeah, I've searched and I've got better, I'm able to meditate for longer, I realize that I'm a bit more quiet than I used to be, I feel more relaxed in my life, but still I've got to get the biggie, which is, sort of like, yes, to be firmly established in the consciousness so that no more mistakes happen, no more suffering happen or something. So there's still a desire for this person to attain such the highest prize that it does not have to suffer anymore. It's a very subtle thing, but that's not how it is, actually. Because this is the beauty of the invitation, is that when I say at the end of listening to the invitation or to put the book away, who are you? What is left at the end of the invitation? What is there? A person with a nice experience?
No.
Well, it can be. It could be still left, wow, that was great. Can we do it again? Or something like that, isn't it? But authentically, if you're followed, what I hope you will come to see is that that you are, but there is no definitions holding on to that. Just there is no sense of any boundary or limit. Whereas before, in the state of personhood, we have all these references for who we are. We're in a particular context, and you refer to that for the sense of who you are. In the discovery of the isness, is that same limited identity intact? I'm asking generally now. At the end of the invitation, the sense of the person as the me who has done this and so on, and I hope it works, and oh wow, I really come to give everything. Is that the one who survives the invitation at the end and saying, wow, I'm really glad I experienced this? Truthfully, is that what's there? Or because in spite of that recognition of the indescribableness of what is discovered, you see, it doesn't mean that the person is totally washed out. From that moment, of course, it's a discovering moment, and so it can feel like, wow, this is amazing or something like that. But the sense of the person cannot stand the power of that seeing in that moment. So it retreats or it backs away, but it gradually comes back if it's not yet burnt up. And burning up would mean that you are sufficiently drawn through your attention to be with your discovery that there isn't really any interest to log in to the mind world or to the person's life expression so much. You see? Now, the person is not an offense, it's just a limitation. It is also consciousness, but it is a limitation which you only discover as you're discovering your unlimitedness. Then you see the limitations of personhood. And for a while, the mind will oscillate somehow, the attention will go into the state of purity and harmony, and you will feel totally in your perfect element. But it will swing back again into the whole regime of identity, and then again you will feel, oh my God, no, I'm not, oh, I didn't get it, and I'm all lost, and oh my gosh, how can I get out of this? And it will swing again, and you will be, oh, hallelujah, oh, it's so, oh, how could I doubt this? How could I doubt it? It's so perfect, Oh my God, of course it doesn't fade. It doesn't fade. Mooji, it doesn't fade. And swings again, and oh my God, and when is this ever going to be over? And until at a certain point, something just clicks that both those extremes are themselves observed. And from a place that is not swinging. This is the natural, if you want to call development or maturity that takes place, But one just simply sticks with it. You discover something, then the mind comes and says, well, okay, what do I do with it? How do I use this? How can I stay here? How can I not lose it? As though it possesses it. And you've got to be so vigilant, because to match the cunningness of the mind, but I am encouraging you that you are far greater than the capacity of your mind to delude you. You see, you can exist without this psychological voice in your head, but it cannot exist without you. So you have to judge which is the better, because for a while you will come to see that this mind behavior, conditioning, is a bit like a parasite that lives on what? On the pure self? Not really. On the idea you have of yourself. As yet, we are not yet established in the conviction that you are just a consciousness. That's not a belief. When I say conviction beyond belief, it is not yet your confirmed experiential understanding that you are the consciousness. It still feels it's ahead and something to strive for that. So while that gap is still open, it's like you're open for business and the mind will keep coming in and like this. Now, I have an overview of this, which is quite good, I feel, because I think even people feel that, but my mind is killing me, it's just so persistent, it never gives up, it doesn't go on a holiday, it's just like, the mind does its work very well. No. How can you beat it? This feeling come like this, And I say first, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Who is the mind speaking to? Who is the mind speaking to? If we took an example, or take an example of a master like Jesus Christ, or the Holy Prophet, or Lord Rama, or Lord Krishna, whatever, how would the mind speak to them? We know and we have heard that in the temptation of Christ, no? And also of the Buddha, very similar kind of stories, that at the beginning, just before their ministry began, they underwent a tremendous interrogation and attack from the mind in the form of the temptations of Christ or whatever. How can you be tempted if you're not temptable? So at some point, something must have been there. A play, a scenario had to be played out to actively perceive the drama, the seeming enemy, so to speak, to really feel it and to engage with it with clear-sightedness and to overcome its psychological influence over you. Only then could this ministry begin. And it will come in whatever form that the consciousness wearing this body needs to experience certain things. There are certain characteristics, certain tendencies or hidden, latent tendencies, sometimes called vasanas or samskaras, that can appear when they flare up. They can appear to hold the beingness hostage. Do you follow what I'm speaking of? So when they come up, you can feel it's a time when you are most likely to identify personally because of these forces. You see? So when they come, it's as though you are experiencing at your weakest. But sometimes, just at the point at your weakest, on the flip side is your greatest strength. But it's not recognized, you see. Sometimes you have to almost lose everything that you think you have to find that which is unpossessible. To find that, you see. So these plays, they're going on so intricately, so diverse is that play. And each one have their own 40 days and 40 nights. Well, now it's not 40 days and 40 nights. Nobody have the time. We're so impatient, Even the unemployed don't have time for all of this sort of stuff. So consciousness has readapted itself for modern life. It's not that you can purchase it over the counter, but perhaps it feels much more accessible that people can go online even and to look up things and to be with it in such a consistent way. Almost you can have your own teacher speaking to you every day. Whereas in times past, that may not have been the access that a student may have, you see.